Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. Big round of applause for Tim for coming out from Mississippi. All right, so Tim, I really wanted to bring him out here because I think he really makes a lot of people when they do their short game, they basically have no plan of action of what to do. So Tim has a really good plan of attack. He calls it a flow chart. So basically you ask yourself some questions, and depending on the answers of the different questions, that's the kind of shot you hit. So Tim, I'll let you kind of take it. What's your short game philosophy?
Okay, thanks, Brendan. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for having me. The flow chart that Brandon was just talking about is pretty simple, but there's a couple places where people kind of get mixed up. The first place, this is kind of a trick question, but not really. So if you had this shot right here, and you're going to the blue flag, the blue checkered flag, where would you land it? Okay, so that's what we kind of think, right? We park the cart or we set our bag down and we walk up here and we look, where do we want to land it? But unfortunately, that's the first question most people think. When, and truth be told, if one person had this lie and then one person had this lie, they're only a foot apart, but they wouldn't really need to hit the same shot, right? They definitely wouldn't want to land in the same place, because this ball, to hit it solid, this player is definitely going to have to hit more down on the golf ball, and then the ball is going to try to come out lower and faster, right? And then where this player could kind of sweep it off the ground, and the ball would come out a little higher, a little softer, a little slower, right? So this player could land it farther or closer to the hole, where this player right here would need to come in lower and then land closer to us. So sure. Yeah, so yeah, we'll go to the blue one. All right, so with the first shot here, I can come in a little shallower, a little softer. Okay, now this one right here is going to come out kind of low, because I'm going to have to put a little more weight on my front foot, get a little more wrist cock, and have it come out low. Where you guys think I ought to land this one? On the green or short of the green? A little short, okay. Okay, so what happens a lot of times is when players pick their landing spot before they look at the lie of their golf ball, it forces them to do things that the golf ball really doesn't want to do. Okay, so if I would have tried to hit that first shot from this lie, I might have hit behind it, might have sculled it, might have chunked it, contact definitely would have been kind of weird, right? So we always, in that flow chart, the first thing at the top is always lie. So what does the lie of the golf ball want me to do? So then from there, that kind of tells me swing more down, swing less down, depending on whatever the lie is. And then that sort of gives you a trajectory. All right, then you have to ask yourself, with that trajectory, where do I need to land it? Okay, and then if there's a spot available, well, then I'm ready to hit the shot. I just choose that spot and go. If there's not a spot available, then I have to figure out some way to alter the trajectory, and then the shot gets harder for sure. Okay, so if there would have been a bunker between me and the edge of the green, or maybe even some water, then I might not have been able to hit that low bump and run, right? So then I might have to take my landing spot and do what with it? Move it closer to me or further away? Further away, that's right, because I can't land it in the bunker, right? Or I definitely can't land it in the water. So then I might just have to deal with having a 15 or 20 footer coming back, okay? So we always go lie first. Lie, and then then that gives us a trajectory, and then after the trajectory, find a spot that'll work, okay? And then just understand that sometimes the shot's just hard, and we just have to might have to try to make a 15 footer coming back, because we always want to get it on the green, especially for the junior golfers out here. We always want to get it on the green in one shot. We always want to give our putter a chance, right? And so that's kind of the flow chart that we want to look at when we're trying to figure out what shot to hit. Okay, now obviously you've got to have the skill to hit it, right? So you got to have the ability to hit those shots. Now where that comes from is a little pyramid or a little triangle that I have, and at the top of that pyramid is contact, okay? At the top you have contact, because it's the most important thing in the short game. If you always have solid contact, you're going to get it on the green. You're going to get it inside of about, most shots inside of 15 feet. You're going to give yourself a good chance, okay? Even if you have a really hard shot. And then the two bottom corners of the triangle is loft and speed, okay? So a good example of that would be, I'm going to hit 2 shots here. We'll go to the red flag this time, okay? The first one I'm going to hit kind of lower, all right? And the second one I'm going to hit higher. Now, which one needs more speed? Club head speed. Do I need to swing harder when I hit it low or when I hit it high? There you go, good. All right, so I'm going to hit one here. Which one did I say first? Low or high? Low, okay. All right, we'll hit low here. All right, so there goes the low one. Do it. Wow. Ah, all right. So now we're gonna go to the high one, okay? So I'm gonna, do you like the high ones better? Yeah, I do too. That's what, oh, love the flop, right? All right, so now we'll go higher. Okay, so that one had a bigger swing, right? I had to deliver more club head speed because I delivered more loft to the golf ball, okay? So, does everybody understand the flow chart? So it's not a long chart at all. I keep it real simple, right? What's my lie? Do I need to swing more down or less down? Wherever the lie is based on. That kind of gives me a trajectory, and then let's find a landing spot that'll work, okay? Then from there to work on our skills, right here at the top is, what was at the top? Contact. And then right over here, these two are loft and speed. That's right. Okay, so those are the skills we need to work on. Okay? If you understand the skills and you have the ability to hit the shot, then after that, the real key is, like when I go to tour events and I work with tour players, or not even just tour players, but any really good player, they pretty much have the skills to hit the shots, but it's the ability to be able to anticipate what the ball wants to do and be able to do it the first time. We'll play a little game here in a little bit where you play with 2 golf balls and you play with like maybe a Titleist 1 and a Titleist 2, or a yellow ball and a white ball, and you want to see if you're better with the first ball or the second ball. We had a clinic here earlier, and so what we did was we played yellow ball, white ball, and we were going to see if people were better with their first one or their second one. Now, if you're better with your second ball consistently, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to improve your skills. It just means that you need to improve your decision making, your anticipation of what the shot wants to do. Now, if you're kind of 50-50 and you're good with both of them, well then you have the skills, then you have the anticipation, but you need, if they're not close enough, then you need to work on the skills to get it a little bit closer to the hole, okay? So it kind of gives you a good idea of, do I need to improve my skills, or do I need to improve the anticipation of what does the shot want me to hit, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? Everybody good? Okay, so that's kind of what I do all day, every day, believe it or not. I know it sounds hard to believe, but that's kind of my daily work.
Tim doesn't teach really any shot over 30 yards. He's only just the short game.
Yeah, so putting, chipping, pitching, bunker shots, things like that. That's what I do all day. Does anybody have any questions? Brendan, he and I are going to do like a little short, very short lesson in just a second. Does anybody have any questions yet? If you got anything you want to ask anytime.
Specific drills for the kids that would help them with contact?
Yeah, think about contact this way. Who here's ever seen an airplane land that was coming into the airport? Okay, cool. All right, so let's think about this grass as the runway, okay? So the runway is the ground, and then this orange stick is the airplane, all right? So if we were on an airplane and the airplane landed just like this, And then you had another airplane land just like this, okay? Now, they're touching, these two airplanes are touching the runway at exactly the same place, right? Would touchdown feel the same if we were in the airplane? Which one would be kind of bumpy, kind of rough? This one right here, right? Because it's coming in really steep, right? So it would hit the runway hard. It'd take a big divot. Hopefully not out of the runway, but in golf world, we take a big divot, right? And then this guy here, he's coming in really shallow. So when it comes in really shallow, it's nice and smooth, just kind of brushes the ground, nothing crazy. And that's kind of what we want our short game to be, right? So our short game, the contact is really important in two big places. There's a couple more, but two big places. One, where does the club hit the ground? And two, what angle does the club hit the ground, okay? So we want to swing as shallow as the lie will allow us. Now, when I had this ball over here in this hole, I couldn't swing real shallow, right? I had to swing more like this because it was sitting down in a hole. Now, when I had a really good lie, I could swing more like the orange one. Cool? All right. Now, for drills, how do we work on that? Couple things. Let's see. Let's think of a good one that's somewhat universal. Yeah, let's go like this. So we'll make a little T-square like this. And just kind of, in your mind, you just kind of want to just see this yellow stick just extending out, okay? That's where we're trying to hit the ground. So you're going to set up to it. You want the yellow stick just a little bit. Is everybody here right-handed? Any lefties? Okay. So you want the yellow stick just a little bit closer to your left foot, okay? And then you want to make sure that your sternum is sitting right on top of it. So that gives you just a little bit more weight on the front leg, okay? And then from there, we're just going to brush the ground. You're just going to pick a spot on the ground and you're going to brush it. All right? So I always tell my players, not necessarily when they're playing, but when they're practicing, at least 3 of these exactly like they want it, and be very hard on yourself. Like, get the contact just exactly like you want it before you hit a shot. So in your practice sessions, 3, for sure 3 really good ones that you like, and then hit a shot, okay? 3 really good brushes, then a ball. And then what I would tell players to do is do that for about 10 minutes, and then once you've done that for 10 minutes, then you can start hitting balls. And then move around, hit some longer ones, hit some shorter ones, some higher ones, lower ones, things like that. But that's where I would start it all off. Get a really good setup like this. Make sure you're brushing the ground like the shallow airplane coming in, right? And then make sure you're touching the runway exactly where you want to, okay? But that's where I'd start, okay? You wanna come in and hit a few?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Hit a few shots, and we'll talk about kind of where we're going with your game. So I came out here, what is today, Saturday?
Is that?
Thursday night, and Brendan and I started doing some work, and he's a very good player, and we worked on some chipping stuff with him. He nicknamed himself the knee pumper.
Yep.
And you gave yourself that name. I did not give you that. But what he would do was he'd set up like this, and he'd take it back, and this knee would go this way. And so then on the way down, he'd kind of pump them this way. So his knees were really going a lot of that, okay? And then, so go ahead and go to address. Show them your old knees, where you used to really pump it hard on the way back.
Well, I'd be like this, and then I'd be...
Yep. And then show what your arms did because of it on the way back. So on the way back, the club would come way inside, right?
Yeah, a lot of like when you're just out here exactly on the chipping, green, watching people practice. This is a real common thing, Hudson.
Oh yeah, golf club comes inside too quickly, and then the face. You see how then the face starts looking at the sky. Okay.
It's kind of like a chicken or the egg thing. Is it the face rolling that's making the knees pump, or is it the knee pumping that's making the face
In this
pump?
case, I would say it's the knees. It's
knees are
definitely
pumping.
coming from the ground up. Yeah. So as he takes it back, so then the club comes too far inside, the face gets real open, and so now what is he going to do if he makes a good swing from there? The ball's going over there, right?
Yeah, because I'm aligned this way.
Right, so he's so close, everything's pointed over there, so now he's got to figure out how to fix it. Well, then he's going to pump the other way, right? So then now he's going this way. So then his knees go back the other way, and sometimes he times it out and hits it really well. And then sometimes, because of the pumping like this, he hits behind it. And then sometimes he hits a little too steep. So it just gets a little inconsistent. So what we worked on this morning a good bit, I'm gonna step right over here.
Yeah, okay.
All right, hop back in. So I'm gonna squat down and I trust him, right?
All right.
All right, he's gonna make some practice swings and he's not, I'll back up just a touch.
Okay.
All right, and so he's gonna make some practice swings and not allow his right knee to hit this grip, okay? All right, go ahead and make a few. Good. So he's trying to keep his knees a little more square to the target line. All right, now show him one of the bad ones where you hit this on the way through. Yeah. So you see how much he turned there on the way through? So that right knee drives too much towards the golf ball.
And the left knee goes.
Right, and then the left knee bounces, jumps out of the way, and it makes him kind of jump, and it disrupts his contact, okay? All right, so we're gonna watch you hit it. I'm gonna back up out of the way and let you hit a few now.
I don't want to practice the bad thing anymore.
All right, that's right, yeah. All right, so we're gonna watch him hit a few, and let's see how he does, okay? Good shot. Nice shot. Good, really good. Oh yeah, I like that one a lot, really good.
And the thing that I've had this weekend, working so much hours and hours with Tim, that I haven't had before that's really exciting is like now the feeling of a good chip is just as rewarding, if not more rewarding than the feeling of like a crushed perfect drive and watching it fly. Now when I hit that chip like I just hit, it's such a rewarding, exciting feeling.
And it really is. And once contact is consistent and predictable, then hitting it a little higher or a little lower, it's not very hard really. And then hitting it a little softer or a little harder, you can pick up on that pretty quickly too. Okay.
What did I do there?
All right, so let's talk about that one. Did anybody see that?
Everybody saw that skull. But
All right,
did
did anybody see the swing?
Yeah. What was it?
Okay, yeah, you're right. He did hit up on it. Okay, and then what? Show him what part of the club you hit right there, Brendan.
Fin in here.
All right, so he hit it low on the face and towards the heel.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see how if the club face twists too much this way, and then he swings down in kind of in a good fashion, you see how the club would come in like that? All right, so here's what we're going to do to work on his twisting. Okay. All right, so let's do that right leg pull back.
Okay.
So pull your right leg back. Pull the right one there, a little bit further. All right, good. Now load it good.
Now
Okay.
I'm feeling like here.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so now he's gonna make a few practice swings here. Good. Now watch his front knee, okay? Watch his left knee. Hold the finish. All right, cool. So now right here at finish, you see how his knees are still square to the target line? They're not pointed way over there to the left, right? So that's gonna help the golf club come in nice and shallow and brush the ground, okay? All right, now let's hit a couple using the drill, okay? Better.
Now, Tim, the way my left knee looks in this drill, is that about the way the left knee should look in a shot? It's real stable here.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's extremely, yeah, it's a very stable base, and that's what we're doing right here is we're stabilizing the lower part of his body, his hip, his knee, and his ankle, and we're giving him there you go. We're giving him a good base to move around. Now in the full swing, you're kind of like this, and then you come down to this, and then you're going to go up. So the left leg will sort of start to straighten in the full swing, but in the chipping, you want to keep it nice and flexed, and you want to come into a good stable position to where when you're at go ahead and hold your finish after you hit this one. Good. Now from there, he should still be able to jump. If he wanted to jump from right there, he should still be into the ground to where when he goes over here to finish like this, like he can kind of pick this back foot up and not really fall down.
I was leg pumping and I went, I can't go, I don't have anything to go.
Right, you can't really jump, that's right. That's right, so that's, that's a really good drill. Another drill we worked on in the clinic this afternoon earlier was standing on an alignment stick like that and trying to keep from doing that right there. So we didn't want his front foot coming off of the alignment stick, yeah. There we go, more like that, okay? So
who wants to try it?
I'd love for somebody to come hit. I knew
Like?
this man was ready. Come on up here, big guy. Very nice. I like this lower body action. This looks good. Very good. Good job. Okay, so now let's talk about his triangle. All right, what was at the top again? Contact. Okay, how's his contact? Yeah, absolutely. How's his loft? Okay, really that one he has to answer. Is that coming out at the height you wanted, or was that a little high or a little low? A little low, okay. All right, so it's coming out a little low, that's fine. That's because the player is the one that really knows the loft, right? Okay, now how's his speed? Okay, and the only reason we'd say it's a little slow is because it's not quite getting to the flag, right? All right, so make a couple practice swings. Just give a little more speed to it. Well, hold on just a second, Leo, before you hit this one. Okay, how would y'all tell him to hit it faster? How should he get more club head speed? What would you think? Smaller swing, bigger swing? Yeah, so let's increase the size of it. Let's get a little bit bigger size. There you go. A little bit bigger size. Good, there you go. All right, now on this last one, I want you to hold a finish just like ESPN's about to take, they got a reporter out there in the Golf Channel. They're gonna take a picture of you, okay? All right, one more time, give me a perfect finish. Hold that finish, stick it. There you go. All right, now when you hit this shot, I wanna see that finish again, okay? So give me a good finish right here. Yeah, I like it. All right, knock it in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, that's okay. Good job, very nice. Here you go, good job. I got something for you. I'll get you when we're finished, okay? I got something for helping. One of the girls? Anybody wanna go?
Tim, is your preference when you're judging how far to hit a ball, do you like to just quicken the tempo and be quicker this way, or do you like to just take a longer swing? How do you like to?
Yeah, we want to change distance. In the short game, I mean, sometimes you change distance by loft, right? Because a less lofted club goes farther. Who hits their 9-iron farther than their 7? Right, the 7 goes farther, right? Because it has less loft. Now we swing it right, intentionally, I should have said intentionally, right? Yeah, so nobody really hits their 7 shorter than their 9 unless they mishit it, right? The reason the 7 goes farther is because it has less loft. Now, we know it does swing a little bit faster, but the main thing is the loft, okay? So one way that Leo could have hit it farther would have been to get a pitching wedge instead of a 9-iron, sand wedge, right? But what he did was he increased the speed. Now, going to what Brendan was asking, you don't want to try to keep the swing the same length and just swing quicker, okay? You want to increase the size of the motion, right? And then keep the timing, the tempo the same, and to hit it farther, okay? So the main two ways to hit it farther in the short game is increase the size of the motion or use less loft. That's how if especially with young golfers, when they have a 40-yard shot, they may not be able to hit a pitching wedge there, right? They may need a 9-iron. If they're really young, they might need a 7-iron. So they're going to hit it farther by decreasing loft, okay? As you get older and stronger, you have the ability to hit it there, so you might just need to swing a little harder, okay? All right, come on up, you ready? All right, let's go ahead and hit a couple.
Ask her name and her age.
What was your name again?
My name's
Kiwi, and she is
11.
only 11. Isn't that amazing? She's tall.
I think she'll pass you at some point, Sam.
Yeah, she's gonna catch me.
Yeah.
I'm growing more out than up now these days. Oh, I like it. Love that motion. One thing I really like about Kiwi's swing is her right-hand grip. It's nice and on top of the club. A lot of players play with their right hand, the right-handed golfers with their hand too far under. So I really like this right-hand grip. Good job. Yeah. One of the things we actually did today was we had a few players. They would address it kind of like this. So they had their right hand, the right-handed golfers. We had one lefty, so it was his left hand. So their trail hand was down like this. All right. So then when they hold the club up in front of them like this, what happens? Closed, right? Now in the full swing, if this were, let's say it's a 5-iron. Okay, so if I came into impact and I hit it with that club face, where would the ball go? Way over there to the left, that's right. Now in the short game, if you come into impact with a closed face, it'll go a little bit to the left, but it really goes what? Low, that's right, it goes really low. So the club face, what it does, everybody knows what loft is, right? So the more loft you have on a face, the more it dictates where the ball starts vertically, high or low, okay? The less loft on the face, the more it dictates where the ball starts horizontally, left or right, okay? So who opens the club face in bunkers? When they try to hit a bunker shot, we all open our face, right? But does the ball really go to the right? No, it goes up, right? So when we're hitting bump and runs, we kind of move it back and kind of turn the face down a little bit like that, right? Does the ball go way left? But it goes really low. So the club face in the short game is more responsible for where this golf ball starts, high or low, vertically, right? Than it does left or right, okay? So if that trail hand, since we're all righties, I'll just say right hand, if that right hand gets under, we're gonna hit the ball low. And that's okay if we got plenty of green to work with. But if we don't have enough green to work with, then what happens? Then we gotta hit it higher. Now how are we gonna do that? Because most of the time what I see is people go this way and then they start setting up like this. You've seen this guy before, right? None of your tour players, but you've seen this guy, right? So he's trying to hit it high and he'll go this way, right? And he tilts back, because what's he trying to do? He's trying to add what? Loft, exactly. Because remember, it's all contact, loft, speed. That's what it's all about, right? So he's going this way, trying to hit it, not trying to hit it solid, not trying to hit it far or short, but he's trying to hit it high. So love that grip, love it, keep going. Now, are there any shots around the green that you like or don't like? Low, high, upslope, downslope, anything specific? You like them all? You like bring it on? I like it. Pretty good stuff, huh?
One thing I noticed with her swing that we work with guys today is that she's on this good lie, she's so shallow that even when her entry point to the ground is a little off like that one was, she can still get a great result out of it.
Yeah, she has a nice wide bottom, and that's good because what you don't want to have is like a V bottom, right? Because that when you have a V, the bottom of the swing gets really narrow. Right, so if you hit a little bit behind it and you come in steep, you chunk it, right? And then if you hit just a little too far in front of the ball, real steeply, you scull it. So when the bottom's like a V, your contact has to be really, really precise. But then when it gets wider, more like a U, you can hit an inch or two behind it and still get away with it. You could hit just a fraction in front of it. Most people don't when they're shallow, but I guess technically it's possible, right? So the wider. That's why we want to focus so much on that first little drill I gave you guys, was just brushing the ground, not stabbing the ground, right? We're just brushing because we want that bottom to be nice and wide. You're kind of too good for these lies, okay? So let's find one a little bit harder. You want to hit a couple more?
Sure.
Okay, cool. You sure you're only 11?
Yeah.
All right, let's put her on a tight lie. Okay, so we got a tight lie. Now, does she need to swing more down or less down? What's the first thing we're always asking? What's the lie tell us to do, right? So more down or less down? Is sitting tight. Yeah, that's right. Because remember, the lower the ball sits, the more it sits down, the more we swing down. The more the ball sits up, the more we swing up, okay? So we got to swing a little more down, and that's going to give us a trajectory. Now, is that going to make the ball come out low and fast or high and slow? Low and fast. Okay, now it's her decision to figure out, do I want to land this ball just short, maybe in the fringe, or do I want to try to land it onto the green? You want to land it just short? Okay. All right, are you going to move the ball back a hair, or how are you going to hit down on it more? Move it a little back? Perfect. All right, make you a few practice swings. And what I would do, pick a little spot of grass, kind of even with the ball, and make a few practice swings brushing that spot, okay? Just to make sure you got it kind of primed and ready to hit. Okay? All right, so that was a good one. Let's get one or two more, just like we want it. So, good. Do it one more time. Excellent. Okay, now kind of focus on your spot out there where you want to land it, and let's hit one. Awesome. Very good. Give me some knucks there. That was great. Very good. All right, you can go sit down. Great job. I got something for you when we get finished, so don't run off. Okay, so when you're playing golf, there's three phases to hitting a golf shot, okay? You have the anticipation phase, the action phase, and then the reinforcement phase, okay? When you guys, here's a good example. When you guys were driving out here an hour ago, okay? What phase of this clinic were you in when you were driving here? The anticipation phase. You're like, I wonder what this guy's gonna look like. I wonder what he's gonna talk like. You're like, kind of talks weird. He's from Mississippi. All right, so he kind of talks weird, but I guess he's okay. Kind of nice, maybe, hopefully, right? So, but right now we're in the action phase, right? We're talking about everything that's happening now. All right, then in a little bit, we're gonna be finished. You'll get back in your car, you'll drive home, and you'll be in a reinforcement phase. You'll be kind of be thinking about like, wow, I didn't realize that about what he was talking about with Brendan's knees, or I didn't understand this, or I really like what he said about practicing with two balls, but you're reinforcing the things you did like, right, about this. Well, golf's the same way. Every shot we hit, you have an anticipation phase, then you have the action phase, that's hitting the ball, and then you have a reinforcement phase between that moment to when the ball is out there to when you're Unfortunately, sometimes it lasts way too long. It should last about 10 or 15 seconds after the shot, and then you're done. And then you just kind of chill as you're walking to the next one, and then you start over. So for 68 or 72 shots, depending on how you play that day, for those 18 holes, that's kind of what you're doing, okay? Now, this isn't a trick question, but when should you really like try the hardest? And I'll give you a hint, it's not reinforcement. So should you try harder in the anticipation phase, or should you try harder in the action phase? What do y'all think? Okay, I got one vote for action. What do you guys think? Anticipation, 1-1. Where? Anticipation. All right, it's 2-1. You're gonna say action, 2-2. 3-2, action. Anticipation. It's the one that starts with A. I'm just kidding.
Can't sit this one out,
Right.
Donald. What are you saying?
Donald, you're the tiebreaker. Come on, it's 3-3. Okay, in my opinion, I always start with that, you should work harder in the anticipation phase, okay? You should do your work there. And that's why I kept telling you, take more practice swings, take more practice swings. You wanna make sure you've got it just right before you step in. The action phase should be really short and really consistent. So hopefully when I hit those two balls that had a good lie and a bad lie, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I took the same amount of looks, right? Now I took different practice swings because I was anticipating a different shot, right? So I was kind of doing my homework there, right? And then I stepped in and I looked. So my routine always starts like this. So that starts my routine, and then I take a look, and then I go here, and then I take another look, and then I hit the shot, okay? So that's always the same. Now, if I have a really hard lie, I might take 7 or 8 practice swings. And practice swings around the green literally take like 1 second, 2 seconds at the most. So it's not like I'm slow playing anybody, right? I mean, the anticipation phase might take 15 or 20 seconds, where the action phase takes like 3. Our job as coaches is to tell you guys your tendencies, so that if you understand what you have a tendency to do in certain situations, you're like, I know that was my grip. I got under again like this, made me tilt, and I hit a little behind it. So then while somebody else is chipping, well, then you just kind of walk up, you just kind of sit here to the side, put the fix in, right? And you're here, make a little practice swing or two, kind of see the ball land where you wanted it to, and just sort of kind of fix it in your mind. Now, if you hit a great shot, what do?
Celebrate.
Celebrate, that's right. You throw your club, no, you just relive it, right? You just do it in your mind the same way you just did it. You don't do any changes, but you do relive it, because you should hit, because then it's kind of like hitting 2 good shots. And then your self-image goes, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And your self-image, we won't get into this too long, but your self-image is your ceiling. So that's as good as you can play. So if you think you're this good, that's as good as you can play, right? So when you hit a bad shot and you kind of get mad, what's your self-image do? Shrink or grow? Shrinks, right? So now your ceiling did what? So now you're here, right? If you hit a good shot, what's your self-image do? It grows, so the ceiling just went up. Then you make a practice swing, reliving it, now what's your self-image do? It's continually growing, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then your ceiling's going higher and higher and higher. And then you finally beat Dad, right? Maybe? Yeah, that's right. Okay, does anybody else want to hit another shot before we move? Come on up. Get a few more balls. All right, so how long have you been playing?
5 years.
5 years? Cool. All right.
How
Yeah.
How old are you now,
I'm 15, I'm going to be turning 16 in like a month.
Okay, cool.
Now we saw you the other night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that hard for
Did you make any hole-in-ones the other night?
No.
No, I didn't either. Almost made one today though.
Yeah,
We almost had
we
one.
Put it on Instagram.
Yeah, man, it was close. Nice. Okay. All right, now. All right, so he's a good player, right? You want to kind of up the ante with him a little bit? Let's kind of make him hit. Yeah, let's do that, okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to come right over it. We're not going to move far, so we don't have to move the camera. But we're going to give you a little different lie. All right, I want you to hit 3 different shots.
Okay.
Let's go to the, you want to go to the back flag?
Sure.
Is that okay with you? All right. So I want you to hit a lower one, and then a medium one, and then a higher one. Okay. So we're going to hit same club, same target, 3 different balls, 3 different trajectories. Okay. Good. Very good contact. All right. Now let's go a little higher.
I was on low one, now we'll do our medium one.
All right. Good shot. All right. Now we're coming in high here. Good. Okay, so as a whole, let's talk about our pyramid. Okay, as a whole for the 3 shots, how was the contact? Yeah, I'd say it was fine. Yeah, it was good. All right. Did you hit the lofts? Did you hit the trajectories that you were seeing?
I think the high one was like a bit on the medium side. I'm using a 60 degree, so
Okay.
might be a little off.
Okay, so you didn't quite like the high one. Okay. And then how about contact, loft, speed? How was the speed on the 3?
I think it was just for the high shot. I think I chunked it a bit, so that was just pretty off. Or I hit it a bit slower.
Okay. So when your contact is off, do you have a tendency to hit more behind the ball or too far in front?
Behind.
Okay, so if he has a tendency to hit a little behind it, let's figure out how we can help him, okay? Let's go ahead and hit one more. And the one thing, go ahead. Now, one thing I want y'all to notice, so look at these guys, all right? Now, so you see how they're kind of close together? All right, go ahead and hit a shot. So when he gets narrow with his feet, he has a hard time shifting any weight, okay? Good, good. All right, so what we're gonna do, I want you to widen your stance out 3 or 4 inches, okay? And then make me a few practice swings. Now, why would we widen his stance if he's hitting behind it? All right, so here's a question. If I only had one leg, okay, could I hit a golf ball? Absolutely, right? Now, could I shift much weight? Be hard, right? Because if I shift much weight, what's going to happen? Yeah, we'll fall down, okay? So if we get our feet really close together, it's kind of hard to shift any weight, right? All right, and then if we get our feet together really close, which way are the knees going to go? They can't really, I guess they could do this, right? That'd look kind of weird, right? So they can still do this a lot, right? So we can rotate a lot with a narrow base, but we can't really move laterally, right? And so to have a weight shift, you got to be able to move a little bit laterally, okay? So we're going to get his feet just a little bit wider, let him make a couple more practice swings, and that way it'll help him move the bottom of the swing a little more forward. Now it's going to take him a minute, maybe. He might pick it up on the first shot, but so we're going just a touch wider. Nice. Okay. Contact. Excellent. Loft. Hopefully that was high enough, right? Okay. And then it just went a little too far. So a little too much speed. Okay, so now we're going to really make it hard. Not really hard, but a little harder. Now I want you to hit a high one to the first flag.
Okay.
So now we're kind of confusing his brain a little bit, right? He was been hitting big high ones to there. Now we're going somewhere else. Now we got a different stance. Yeah, I'd like to, there you go. Yeah. What size shoe do you wear?
10 and a half.
Yeah, a little wider. There you go. Ah, very good. Excellent contact. Nice trajectory or loft, once again. So we just need a little more speed, okay? All right, let's hit one more. Now, would that shot have worked if he had had the face a little less open? Yeah, because he would have had less loft. Because remember, if we hit it solid and it doesn't finish by the hole, it's got to be loft or speed. Very good right here. Excellent. Very nice work. Good job. Very good. And what happens a lot of times when players practice, there's nothing wrong with having a shag bag, but they dump out a lot of balls and then they just start smashing them, right? They just like chip, 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 and then maybe hit 10 to this flag, then they'll hit 10 to that flag, then they'll go over there and hit 10. And they've hit 150 balls, but then they're still only getting up and down 2 out of 5 times on the golf course. So they're not really getting much for their effort, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk a little bit more about quality practice rather than just quantity of practice, okay?
All you guys of all ages, really you're probably wondering, like, how do the tour players practice? How do they get better from week to week? And one of the top drills that the tour guys that Tim works with use, that he has all levels of players use, is this one drill that's really become like the main drill that we're using, is this number 1 versus number 2 drill, or yellow ball versus white ball drill. Because Tim, we're really trying not to be good the second or third time we try a shot. With golf, you only get 1 chance per shot to make it your best shot. So we want to really light it up on the first chance.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's talk about this drill specifically.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what? And this right here is really going to improve your anticipation. Okay, how well can you figure out the shot the first time? So what we're going to do. Who wants? Come on. All right. So we got yellow ball, white ball. Let's go. You want to go red or blue? Blue. Okay, let's go blue. All right, so you're going to hit kind of get the lies about the same. There you go. All right, we'll go yellow ball first, okay? So yellow ball is the tournament ball. This is her first shot. She's playing in the U.S. Open in a year or two. All right, okay. All right, now let's go ahead and chip this thing in the hole, right up there to the blue flag. Very good. Okay, good job. All right, now let's go ahead and hit the white one. Okay, cool. All right, so good, very good. Stay right there. All right, so contact on both balls. Good, yeah. Trajectory, was that kind of the height you wanted to see on those? Kind of. Would you rather them be higher or lower? A little bit higher, okay. Especially which one? Well, the yellow one was pretty good though. Okay, okay, cool. So she wanted the yellow one a little higher. All right, now the second ball, the white ball, she hit it solid, very solid. I thought it was excellent contact, and it went a little too far. Okay, so we got two options. So how do we slow that golf ball down? How do we make it not go so far? Shorten the swing, which decreases the speed, or we could hit it what? She said it, higher, right? Because once again, that's loft. So you want to hit another one? Let's do it. All right, let's do it again. All right, now, are you gonna open the club face to hit it higher, or are you gonna swing easier? Swing easier, okay. All right, cool. If she swings easier, will it go higher or lower? A little lower, yeah. When you swing, when you decrease speed, the fly to come just a little bit lower, okay?
About how fast Tahir was swinging some of those
man,
driver level swings.
That's
really
right.
Going high, yeah.
That man he had some serious launch.
Right. Oh yeah.
Good job. Let's hit one more. That's awesome. Really good stuff.
So while she's setting this up, so with that 2-ball drill, guys, when you go around doing that, Tim's saying that he wants you guys to be about, his tour players are about 50-50 as far as they're hitting them both good, but 50% of the time their second ball is better and 50% of the time their first ball is better. With all of us, it would be about 80% of the time or 90% of the time where our second ball would always be a little better. But they can make it happen the first time.
Job. Very good. And like what you would do here, thank you for helping. What you would do here is you know, we only hit those shots from the same place just so we didn't have to move the camera. So you definitely would not stay in the same place. So you would go over and hit 2 balls here, then maybe 2 balls over by that tree, then 2 balls over there by the putting green. So you're moving around all the time. You're gonna kind of feel like, you're like, wow, I don't feel like I'm getting that much better or that much work in because I've been here for an hour and I've only hit 20 shots. But the quality of the practice will be so much higher. Like, what's the purpose of practice?
Get better.
To get better, yeah, absolutely. If we want to like burn calories, we can go run or work out or something, right? So we're practicing golf to get better, right? We're not. It's not a workout, right? We're here to improve our skills and then the application of those skills. Okay. You want to hit one? All right, come on.
What's the shot that you don't like or that's really tough for you to hit? Which one?
Downslope. Yeah.
Let's go find a downslope.
Let's go find a downslope. Let's do it. All right. All right, so what's the first thing we think about when we try to figure out what shot we're going to hit? Lie. Okay, so we're on a downslope. So y'all coach him up right here, okay? All right, so Jackson wants you to coach him. All right, he's on a downslope, so he needs to swing more down or less down? brotherly love, right? More down, right? You got to swing more down. Yeah, you got to swing a little more down. So that's going to make the ball come out low and fast or high and slow? Low and fast. That's right. So he should probably start looking for a spot closer to us, right? Let it release out. Okay, what do you think about landing this one, Bo? On the hill? Okay. All right, it's all yours now. Go ahead and anticipation phase right here. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and just go through the whole process again. Hit another. That's okay. That's all right. Okay, so the first one's contact was pretty good, right? But he didn't quite swing hard enough. All right. Second one lost his contact trying to swing a little faster, right? And hit a little thin. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Go to address for me. Okay. You ready to hit it? All right. Now I want you to put. How much do you think you weigh? 70 pounds?
Yeah.
All right. Let's call it 70. Half of 70 is 35. I want you to put 50 pounds on your left foot. And then I want you to have 20 pounds on your right foot, okay? All right, now, I want you to pick a spot on this ground where, just pick a blade of grass. That's your imaginary golf ball, okay? All right, put a little more weight forward. A little more, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, now pick a blade of grass, that's your ball. All right, now go ahead and brush the ground. I don't want you to hit this shot until you have 3 in a row, just like you want, okay? I'm gonna put the ball down, but don't hit it. So once you keep brushing the ground until you hit it just like you want it 3 times. All right, 1, 2, close, a little behind it. Let's go again, 1, 2. Okay, cool, so he's hit 3 in a row at the same spot. So now he's kind of figured out where his bottom is. All right, you ready to hit it? All right, whenever you're ready. Okay, we're gonna take another one, that's fine with me. Okay, close.
Good shot.
Very close. All right, let's do one more. A couple practice swings, let's get that bottom stable. Let's figure out exactly where the club's touching the ground. There you go, much better. Good shot, Jackson. There you go, give me some love, man. Good.
We got to see you hit the shot, Tim.
Got balls all over the place. Yeah. So with this shot, where would be the hardest landing area? Probably kind of on the down, carrying it over the hump. That would be really tough, right? Because it'd be really hard to hit it high, carry it onto the downslope. So I'm hitting off of a downslope. Landing onto a downslope with no green to work with, that would be extremely tough. All right, so I'm definitely going to try to make this ball come out lower and then move my landing spot back, right? So I'm gonna put the ball a little back in my stance. I'm gonna have I weigh a little more than 75. So I'm gonna put about 100 pounds on my left side, maybe 110. All right, and then I think I'm gonna try to land it right around that first bar. All right, so now I'm in the action phase. All right, so I landed pretty close to my spot. Not bad. Just left it, what, 5 feet short? All right, so what are my options? I left it a little short. I've got 2 options. Contact was good, so now I've got loft and speed, right? So, anybody know one option I could do? I'm sorry? Okay, so less loft, that's right. And then what would be my other option? Huh? Aim more right? Yeah, okay. Increase my speed, that's right. Okay, with this shot here, I think I'm gonna go with, what do you think? What would be more adequate here? I think so too. Because if I start trying to fly it farther, then you see how, so this is a crown, right? So it's going up and over. It's called a crown. All right, let's make it more severe. If it were like a pyramid, right? All right, so if the ball lands right here, what's it gonna do? Stop pretty quickly, right? Now if I carry it a touch too far and it lands right here, what's it gonna do? take off. So the landing area on the top of a crown is very small, right? So if you hit one that lands in the upslope, and then you hit another one that lands on the downslope, even though they might only land 10 feet apart, they won't finish 10 feet apart. They might finish 30 feet apart because they're going to react so differently, right? So I'm not going to try to land this ball right on top because that's really going to kind of, I've really got to be pretty perfect. So I'm going to put this ball, I'm going to close the face and move it a little farther back and get this golf ball coming out just a little bit lower. And I'm still trying to land it right there by the by that first ball. Oh, go just a little more. Pretty close, right? Okay. So that just shows you how you kind of put all three pieces together. Got the contact, got the loft, got the speed. All right. Then each of y'all did a really good job with yellow ball, white ball. Okay. And then we also had a couple players that did the low, medium, high. So really that's kind of how you want to break down your practice. It's fine to have a shag bag like that with a lot of balls. But when you're doing that should be how you start your practice, okay? You drop 20 balls or so and you work on just kind of your stock shot, okay? Then from there, take 3 balls out at a time, go drop them somewhere, hit a low, medium, high shot. Do that for 10 minutes, right? Then after that, it's yellow ball, white ball, or whatever brand you like. Say it's a Titleist 1 and a Titleist 2, whatever you like to use, and you kind of compete against that, okay? And then that would be fine. If you still want a little more, then you could have a chipping contest with one of your friends, brother, sister, parent, whomever, okay? And that would be my contact was kind of good, but the loft was not very good at all. That was so that would be kind of your practice. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
I'd love some questions.
Can you talk to me a little bit about like when you would change clubs and trajectory of those clubs?
Yes. Who here chips with one club every time? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Who here chips with 2 clubs most of the time? Okay. You know, it's subjective in the sense like, should a player, I think as a young junior golfer, you should get pretty good with 1 club first, because you're really working on mechanics at first. You're trying to build some skill of how to hit it solid. And then after you kind of get to where you can hit it solid, then start using different clubs. Because this right here is this right here is a 58-degree wedge. Sort of, right? All right, so if I go normal, just my normal shot, it's a 58-degree wedge. Okay, now there's one shot. Now,
Oh!
all right, so now tell me if this is a 58-degree wedge. Because the ball was, did it go the same height? No, it went lower, right? Because the ball was further back. And then tell me if this is a 58-degree wedge. Kinda, but not really, right? Because it went much higher. Okay, so that's one way to change clubs. Is you use the same club, but you change the way you hit it. The other way is literally changing golf clubs. So go out there with. How many do y'all have? Like 6/8 pitching wedge, sand wedge. Y'all have a lot of clubs. How many clubs do you have? What's your makeup?
8.
Okay, so like, do you have a kind of like 2 numbers in between, like 6/8 pitch, or 5/7 9? So go out there with a 7-iron, a 9-iron, and a sand wedge, and then you use the same swing. You just change the club. So that's one way to alter how high or how low the ball is going to go. Then the other way is through ball position and club face, just like we were just talking about. Okay, is that kind of good?
Just because some I see a lot of juniors only want to hit the 60.
Yeah.
Right, and so sometimes you just force them into, hey, you're only going to hit pitch and wedge today, no matter what.
Right.
And that will at least get you some different trajectories without, because everybody loves to hit the high spinner.
Absolutely.
Right, and they don't really know how to hit a basic bump and run. You can bump and run it with a 7-iron or or whatever, right? So, and I think a lot of juniors struggle with moving the ball position around. And so sometimes just having one stock bottom point can kind of get them, you know, some confidence.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think those are all good points. You guys should listen to this guy. He's pretty smart. But yeah, so I mean, you have to have some form of emotion, and then you kind of start with that. And so, you know, work on contact with maybe one club, and then when you start moving into different lofts and different spots, so when you're at the top of the pyramid, right, it doesn't really matter. Just pick a club and go. And then after that, when you move down to loft and speed, maybe one day you just go to the chipping green with one club and your putter, and you hit on high shots and low shots and medium shots. And then the next day you go to the chipping green with a 7, 9, and a sand wedge, and you just make the same motion, changing the club. So you build touch, you build feel, and then ultimately you build a better short game. Any other questions? Sure.
What would happen? Chipped it, and it landed like a bar in the fringe, and then what would the bounce be?
That's a good question. So like some people are kind of almost kind of scared to land it in the fringe because they think they don't know what it's going to do. Would you think if I hit this shot and it landed in the fringe, do you think it would go farther or shorter than if it landed on the green?
Shorter?
Yes. You know why?
Because the rack is bigger.
You know what that's called? Friction. So there's more friction on the ball, right? So uphill or downhill, right? So uphill putts, you have to hit them harder, right? Downhill putts, you have to hit them softer.
But having a huge round of applause for Tim for doing this for everybody.
Look, I'm glad you guys came. Juniors, y'all don't leave. I've got something for all of you. And